Hi everyone, welcome to my mini studio in Rotherhithe. So as I promised to you, I'm gonna show you some very gentle and simple exercises that you can do in case that you have an incident of back pain. And to be honest, they're quite good anyway. So if you wake up one day or you end up the day feeling really stiff and a little bit achy in the spine and the hips and you need to loosen up, these exercises can be a really good way to do that. So, as always, if you're feeling very unwell and if you know that you shouldn't be exercising, then obviously don't do the exercises. But overall, generally speaking, movement is the best medicine, especially for low back pain. So we're going to begin with the 4-point kneeling position. So you're going to bring your wrists under your shoulders and the knees into the pelvis. Just lengthen your spine, head to tail, lengthening away, and then just check that your ribs are not dropping towards the mat. So just think about gathering the ribs and the tummy up a little bit. So you don't want to be up there, you don't want to be arched there, you want to be somewhere in the middle. You should begin with some small pelvic tilts. So from the waist up, I'm going to stay still. I'm going to inhale from the nose, and as I exhale, I'm going to tilt my pelvis forwards, letting the lower back arch up towards the ceiling. Inhale to maintain, and then as I exhale, I'm going to draw my belly in a little bit and then tilt the pelvis up. So inhale, exhale to go forwards, inhale to stay, and then exhale to go back up. So all you're doing is you're doing a pelvic tilts forwards and up, letting the tailbone to drop towards the mat, then tailbone up towards the ceiling. As you do a few repetitions of this, if you start feeling that the lower back is starting to warm up, then you can progress this to the full cat. So from there you're going to inhale. As you exhale, you're going to send your tail down towards the floor, letting the lower back and then the mid back and then the upper back to flex, and then you're going to allow the neck to flex. So you're looking inwards, breath in there. And then as you exhale, you're going to send your head and your pelvis away from each other, and you're going to stop just in a neutral position. Breath in. And then exhale. Start with the pelvic tilt first and let the spine flex sequentially. So I'm thinking about my tummy gently drawing up just a little bit. Breath in. And then exhale, moving the head and the pelvis out to the neutral. So you could do this for about 10 times or for as long as you need to. If you start feeling that with repetition the lower back and the spine are starting to loosen up, then continue doing that. If after a few repetitions you start feeling an increase in pain, perhaps stop, give it a break, and then try again in a few hours and see how that goes. It will be quite normal and natural to experience a little bit of pain, especially if your incident is quite new, if it's in the acute phase. Another position that's really good to go to is the child's pose position. So if you bring the feet together and separate the knees wider than hip width, try and sit back towards your heels as much as possible, and then let the spine flex and rest over the upper legs, letting the head relax. And you could stay there a few breathing cycles, breathing in from the nose and then out from the mouth. In from the nose, out from the mouth. To come out of the position, keep your spine straight and just walk the hands back. Then another exercise that's really good, and once again you just need to see how your body feels like on the day, is the spine curl. So if you don't have a head cushion at home, you can replace it with a rolled up hand towel or something like that, just enough to bring your head and your neck in the same line as your spine. So you're going to lie onto your side first, and then onto your back, That's a really nice way to get yourselves to lie down without hurting your backs. And then we're going to bring the feet and the knees hip width apart. You're going to let the pelvis relax. And we're going to have the arms by the side of your body. You're looking up towards the ceiling and your neck is free from head cushion or anything, any other props. Now I have my feet a bit closer to my pelvis so that I can use the support of my feet. And I begin with a neutral pelvis, so that's when your pubic bone and your sticky outer bones are level with each other. So from there, I'm going to start with the same pelvic tilt I did in the cat. So I'm going to send my tail up towards the knees and the ceiling. As you can see now, my pelvis will start lifting off the mat and continue to tilt the pelvis. And I'm going to let the spine roll off the mat. But I'm going to stop before my ribs start pushing up, so I want the front of the rib cage to stay connected and the shoulders and the upper back are on the mat. Inhale. And then as you exhale from the mouth, you're going to maintain the pelvic tilt, but you're going to bring the ribs down, then the lower back, and then the back of the pelvis. And then you will relax back to your neutral. So once again, breath in, exhale, begin with the pelvic tilt. Roll the spine up sequentially. Inhale at the top. And then exhale to roll back down. Bone by bone. So you will start feeling the muscles around your hips, the hip extensors to engage. And you will start finding a nice sense of control for the alignment. Now, if that feels that is too uncomfortable or painful to go all the way up to the spine curl, you could also break it down and do the first part. So you could start with the pelvic tilt, then let the lower back roll off the mat and pause. Inhale there, and then exhale to roll the lower back down into the mat, and then back to neutral pelvis and lower back. So once again, you can do halfway, so you could tilt and lift just the lower back, keeping the ribs on the mat, inhaling there, and then exhaling to roll back down, back to your neutral. To come out of the position, it's best to roll to your side first, and then to come up to sit. So these are some very simple, gentle exercises that you could do at home. Whether you have back pain or not, these are good for you anyway. I would just say try not to overdo the repetitions. So I think a maximum of 10 or 12 repetitions should be enough if they're done correctly. If you have any doubts or not quite sure if the exercise is being done correctly, it's best if you stop and come and catch me at the end of a class, whenever you're coming in for a class, and ask me to have a look at your technique, rather than just kind of half doing things and not being quite sure if you're doing it correctly. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you're looking forward to more of these to come. Take care.